Welcome back to CJRaceCars YouTube channel, and today we're going to check out the turbos for James's Camaro. These turbos are absolutely massive, especially for a small LS like this. They're giant. They're going to be huge. We actually haven't unboxed them, but I know they're big. We're going to get them unboxed, and we're going to try to get them mounted, see how the location works. We may have to change some stuff with the steering column because before it was going to be a nitrous motor. There wasn't going to be anything in the way there, but now there is going to be something in the way, a giant turbo. So we're going to check that out, but before we do, we have the transmission right here, and we're going to look at that. It's an absolute piece of work. I've never had anything this nice in my life. Shout out to Shane for letting us use this. And the converter, look at that. Do you see the converter, Taylor? Look at this converter. So basically what we have here is some stuff that we can't afford, right? So we'll start there. But this is this transmission has a bell housing for a lockup, right? So I believe this is 7 inches right here, this bell housing. Now if you had a non-lockup converter and transmission, this would be 6 inches. This has a lockup bell housing, but a non-lockup converter, which is why you see this giant spacer here. And man, they did a killer. Even the spacer looks like art. The spacer looks like art, converter looks like art, and the engine definitely looks like art. So, all right, we got this converter. For now, it's non-lockup. I think when we really start trying to get after it, we will probably have to get with Mark Mickey and get a lockup converter, which is no big deal. We can get that coming. But for today, we want to stick this transmission in the Camaro, make sure everything we previously did as far as drive shaft enclosure and everything else works, which it should be identical. Jamie had a lockup 400 from Mickey, so nothing should have changed there. Put this back in, get it checked out, get the turbos unboxed, and start trying to mount them. Because once we get the turbos mounted, we can start building headers, and this thing's going to come along quick. A little bit. Tom, what are you doing?
I'm fishing.
Tom, don't you know there are better ways to fish when you can't get out of the shop? Have you tried Fishing Clash?
Fishing Clash? What's that?
Check it out.
I am going to check it out.
Do you like fishing like Tom, but can't get out of the shop? Then you need Fishing Clash, the sponsor of today's video. The mobile game that allows you to fish like a pro without, well, actually going fishing. Join 50 million plus players already casting their way to glory. There are more than 50 unique fisheries to explore and tons of fish species from all over the world waiting to be caught. Tom, where did you even find the fishing pole?
I found it in the El Camino. It must have came with it.
Interesting. You can spend just a few minutes daily and earn big rewards. Upgrade your lures, rods, and equipment, plus show off your skills. They even have a global leaderboard where you can climb your way to the top of the rankings and show the world who's boss. You can also take part in daily and weekly fishing competitions, helping your clan become the ultimate fishing champions. You can download the game by using my link in the description box or by scanning the QR code on the screen. Use my special gift code, CJRaceCars, to claim a $20 value reward, including a unique avatar for free. When you go to the game for the first time, go to the upper right-hand corner, click the menu icon, select gift codes, type in CJRaceCars for that free gift. Tom, you typed in your gift code?
Yeah, it worked.
Thanks Fishing Clash for sponsoring today's video. All right, Tom, that's enough of this. We got to get back to work. We got cars to finish.
Okay.
Tom, come on, we got to go back to work.
Hold on, man. I got one on.
Something else we need to talk about. We came up with a name for the Camaro, which... If you watched the last video and read any of the comments, I imagine you know what the name's going to be, because we did a vote whether it was going to be the Warden or Tall Order. And well, I think Tall Order won by 99.875%. So the name of the Camaro is Tall Order. I think it's a very fitting name considering James is going to drive it and we're going after the records, and that's a Tall Order. I think we're very capable of it. We have some great equipment thanks to, well, it's a decent car, I think. And Shane's got some really decent stuff that he let us borrow. And FIS for the turbos that are going to put a bunch of boost and test Shane's engine out. That's it's going to be interesting. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of boost to go as fast as we want to go, which is 5 1/4, ideally, eventually. That's about it. Let's quit talking. Let's get this transmission in the Camaro, make sure everything works there, and then we'll start getting the turbos in there and see how much room we actually have. All right, we had Andrew come over here, because if you look at Andrew, it looks like he works out by picking up cows in a field somewhere or something. So I thought he'd be a big help putting his transmission in here, and he came over here and said he wants to hold the camera, not the transmission. He's smart.
It's heavy, the camera.
The camera's heavy?
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, it's heavy. I appreciate you willing to do that for us, Andrew. Absolutely. So, all right, the transmission is pretty heavy. Yeah. And the fun thing about this is usually we either stick it through the door or go through the bottom, which neither one of those is going to be ideal because it's on stands that are 3 feet tall. I'm counting on Taylor to pick the heavy side up, though.
Yeah.
You want to go through the door or through the bottom?
I don't know.
He don't know.
That's hurting my back just looking at it, so yeah, I'm definitely going to have to hold that camera. Oh, man, see?
What we could do is, you could pick it up, right? You put it in place, and I'll get the bolt started. That work for you?
Hell no, it don't work.
Come on, man, them bolts are hard to put in. All right, do we have the silicone, the spacer that went here? The poly spacer? The only reason I'm asking is it might be easier to at least set it on there. You can see we will have to change the transmission mount. Before, the way Jamie wanted it with his deal was poly bushing, like a factory style transmission bushing in between the mount and the transmission. We're not gonna run that, we're gonna run them solid. That's how we've done the rest of our stuff. It's a personal preference. So we're probably gonna cut that off. But for now, we're gonna put the poly bushing on there. That way, when we stick this transmission in there, Taylor doesn't have to hold up the back of it while I get the bolt started for 3 or 4 minutes.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea, right? It's not bad. If you could pick it up here with a strap, you could probably almost, like, someone could balance the back almost too.
Yeah, but it's still gonna have to go in.
Well, at first it would pick up higher in the front. That may be enough. Well, I don't know. Let's get it under there and get a strap on it. See? I don't know. It might be. It's probably gonna have to go up the tail first, right?
Yeah.
You think we can pick it up? Not really, right? Apparently, the poly bushing we used before is not the same because it's too high in the back, which is weird because we even moved the motor up. So the poly bushing we had in there, it's probably laying around here somewhere. I thought it would be the same. It's not the same. So it's a little off. We're gonna have to pull the bushing out, tighten it against there. We're remaking this mount anyways. All right, ready?
Yep.
Goodness, he got it too tight up front.
You want me to loosen those up?
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too tight up front. I didn't want to bend the mid plate.
Your strength?
Yeah.
I'll take it. Quick, quit. Hang on. All right. Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Maybe
Maybe not.
maybe it's just too heavy.
Last time I tried this, the whole car flipped.
Wait, why?
I'm a lot bigger.
Why? I didn't say that. You did.
Hey.
See, yeah, it's heavy, right?
There it is.
All right, we got the turbos from FIS right here, Danny, for the Camaro. I know you're excited.
Oh, can't wait.
And they're really big, so we're gonna have no room.
Love it.
I know you like that.
Challenge.
The motor's farther forward, so it's closer to the wheel than the other car.
Oh, come on. Just do more than that. Come on.
What else? Let me see. What else can we do, Taylor? Can we throw any other wrenches in Danny's plan?
Oh, we got steering column.
Yeah, and I don't want you to move it. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna have to move it.
I know what we can use. You ever seen those flex columns, flex steering shafts? You know, they got a collar on each end.
Yeah.
And the center looks like a big piece of flexible wire.
Uh-huh.
You just put that on there and just twist it anywhere you want.
Is that kind of similar to a snake when you clean out the toilet?
Exactly. We could probably get one of them.
If anybody is a plumber and they have a snake for a toilet, then it needs one for the steering column.
We can weld ends on it. That's all there is to it.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Who's gonna weld the ends on a used snake?
Danny.
I'm not welding no more.
All right.
I gave up welding.
On a serious note, they're gonna fit fine. Danny's gonna make it work. He always does. He might not like it sometimes, but he always makes it work.
I got an open mind toward this right now, but we'll see if that mind closes up.
Well, the good news is the engine's about half the size of the engines we normally put in there. It actually looks really small.
Oh, well, hell, man.
See?
Big old Hemi in that thing
Easy.
like this much wider.
He'll have it done by about an hour. About an hour. All right.
Dreaming.
So these turbos, obviously, you can see, are pretty massive, unless they got a bunch of packing peanuts in here and they just sent it in a big box because they didn't have another box, which I'm going to guess they didn't do that to us. I'm guessing this turbo is just really big. Oh, you know what?
A lot of packing in there.
All right. Before we open this, We've
Yes.
got quite a bit of turbos from FIS, and they've been great. One thing they're really good at is packaging their turbos so that they don't get damaged.
Okay.
Their packing is, we could drop this. We could do it. We'll do one. They need to send us a turbo. We'll drop it off the roof. I bet it doesn't even get hurt. Seriously. Maybe that roof might get hurt, but look, they package these turbos
I think this would come
to where they will not get damaged. I promise. Look at this. Look at this. Look.
double packing.
I'm telling you, they do get on our packing.
No doubt about that.
Danny, if I hit you,
No,
it was on
hold
accident.
that way. I'll pull this.
All right,
way.
go ahead.
Ready?
Go ahead. Okay. All right, hang on. Hey, maybe there's not even a turbo in here. They just sent us a brick. Maybe they just sent a brick in the middle of this thing. Here we go. Wait. What do we got here? Oh, see?
Oh,
You just got to know where to open it from.
now we're getting down to it.
Not gonna lie, it smells pretty bad.
Oh,
It doesn't smell great. It doesn't smell great.
It smells pretty bad.
that stuff's nasty. Got the turbo?
Go ahead, pull it. What do we got on the end there still?
You got another
All right.
crap
All right.
stuff. That's the easy part.
This thing's massive, Danny. All right, so let's look at this. This,
Oh, look at that little bitty exhaust side.
Adam at FIS spec'd this for us. He said we could go two ways. We go with an 88, it'll make around 2,500 horsepower, or we could go with a 98, and it could make around 3,400 horsepower. Now, I'm not sure we'll ever make 3,400 horsepower. We may make a bunch of pieces out of that engine before we make 3,400
Oh,
horsepower.
hell
No, it'll make it?
no. Look at that motor.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Feel it.
So I said, Adam, send us what you think we need to set the record. And that's what he did. He sent us it's a 98, 111, 103. And it's even got I think it's a 13 blade on this side. He said that's what we need for the most boost. So this is a unit right here. This thing is going to make a ton of power. I really think this motor could make 3,000 horsepower, realistically.
Don't ask me.
And if it and if it does, I mean, this thing's gonna make some steam. We're going fives. We're going fives with this thing.
Yeah, I'm new to this turbo game.
I'm honestly, I have not done a ton of turbo stuff until lately, so it's new to me. The guys at FIS obviously have been a huge help. Customer support, you tell them what you got, they spec it, and they have like 4,000 different turbo combinations, like between housings and the front wheel, the rear wheel, everything else. I don't know all of them, but if you guys need a turbo, I highly suggest you get with FIS. These guys over here have been great, really quick. They even machine all the housings in-house, which I'm sure most turbo companies don't do. They've sent me videos of this thing just there, and they machine, that's solid. They machine all that stuff in-house. Machine the flanges on the end, the entire face, the entire back, and what we did with Cream Puff, you can even take the turbo off Cream Puff, send it out, and they can machine it for a bigger turbo. So that's nice. You don't have to buy a whole nother turbo. You send it in, they machine it for a bigger, yeah, it's pretty fancy. So with that said, the other box has this identical turbo in it. We're gonna get it out. Danny's gonna get started here in a minute on how he's gonna fit it over there. And we'll go from there. FIS sent us a mock-up turbo, which is right here. Danny will greatly appreciate that because it's probably half the weight. That's probably 3/4 of the weight. A lot less weight to mock up than this guy here because it has none of the guts inside of it. So this is what we use for mock-up. We don't have to worry about getting grinding dust in there or anything else. So that's nice. But look at, did you see how easy this thing spins? Did you spin it?
It did.
It about ripped my finger off the first time I did it.
Send it.
Because it got, you ready?
Send it.
What, are you sure?
Yeah.
All right. What, just look at it. Would you look at it? That's pretty fancy. That was at least 1/10 of a pound of boost right there when I just did that. That was 1/10 of a pound, Danny, I bet.
What's that?
That was 0.12 pounds of boost when I just did that like that. I think I'm going the wrong way with it, actually. All right, enough playing around. We got serious business to take care of. Danny's getting his stands ready. We're gonna get this mock-up turbo in there. We're gonna start on this side because there's a master cylinder that goes here. There's a steering that goes here. And if we can make it fit on this side, we're totally good on the other side. So I would always start on the side that you have the most stuff on, because if you can make it fit there, you can definitely make it fit on the side with less stuff. If you saw how we mounted the turbos on Mullet or on Eagle, or really on anything, ideally, we would like to do this on a jig. It's a little tougher when it's not on a jig. Right now, we're working on Mullet on the jig, so this will work. It'll work fine. It's just not as easy. We got to come up with some creative stuff.
Improvise.
Improvise. All right, so we got it in there. It is massive. Look back at this thing. It's like a quarter of the engine, Taylor.
We will have to move that steering column.
Yeah, I figured the steering column we would have to move for sure.
It's gonna have to come out of there and turn inside the car.
All right, we knew it might be a problem when we started this. We had already talked about cutting this out, so we knew it might happen. Well, now we got the turbo in there, and it confirms we need the extra room. So Danny's gonna cut this diagonal out. We'll be able to move the turbo out a little bit more and give ourselves a lot more room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't cut the firewall down.
That piece may have to be done later anyway. But
Well, we may have to redo this section of firewall if we move the steering column. You can see right now that steering column is directly through the turbo. We'd have to Bluetooth it or use your little snake idea. That's a good idea.
well, even the snake won't work there.
That'd be tough. That'd be tight right
snake
there.
ain't gonna
So we're not snaking the steering. All right. Well, that's all right. We can move it out more now though. All right. So that's pretty close to where our turbo location is going to be. We could probably run a little less angle, like run the front of the turbo down. But the only problem I see with that, and we kind of ran into this with Eagle, is we ran a maximum that Precision said we could run with the turbo. And then what happened with, obviously we had a lot less room with Eagle. But as you flatten this turbo out, you got to come out farther before you can get that radius away from the fender, you know? So the more angle we have here, we can get it tighter to the fender and come out.
Yeah.
So if we flatten that, then we run into that. We also run into this starting to push out and trying to get it 90 before it hits a tire and a lot of other things. So I really think we talked to Adam at FIS. He said he's totally fine with us running it at 30 degrees. So that's good. And you can see this tube being gone bought us a lot of room, which we needed. We don't really have to have this tube.
This will probably be able to be a normal radius, tight radius that we can buy and not do any pie cuts crap.
Yeah.
It's just got to be down here. So if it turns like this, comes down, and then it does its deal.
Yeah. And ideally, we would not do pie cuts. In my opinion, I'm not a fan of pie cuts, but there was zero way we could ever get that exhaust on Eagle without pie cuts, because literally there was a 90 that was almost from the 90 to the here it was zero. It was like
it was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, there wasn't a lot of room. So we had to do pie cuts on Eagle. I'll try to avoid it on this. I also think we're going to try to do titanium on the downpipe and titanium on the wastegates, just to really worry about the weight, because trying to set a record,
Titanium
there's
all the way.
all the way. Yeah, for the record, there's 0 weight rules. So we need to get it as light as possible, and it's also a small motor, so it's not a Hemi. It doesn't just make gobs of power, and we can just keep hitting the up arrow to make more power.
We can buy pie cuts out of titanium if we had to weld something.
I'm hoping we don't have to use pie cuts.
We don't have to cut our own. We can.
Yeah, we could buy pie cuts if we needed to with titanium. I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. We ran a billet merge collector on Eagle, which is really, really nice. I don't know if we'll run a billet merge and an elbow. Maybe just a merge and not the elbow. They're extremely nice, but they're also heavy. That billet merge is pretty heavy. Although the merge and the elbow with the wastegate is a fail point. Like where you start welding on the wastegate tube, there's weight there, and normal 16 gauge stuff, it's hard on it.
Yeah,
so
that's the point to be. You'd probably be better off with the heavier billet,
yeah,
because
we don't want to have to repair this thing every time we're at the track.
it's going to get hot and cold, vibrate.
Right.
It's going to crack.
Yeah. Yeah, and 530s and a quarter mile is going to be hard on it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, 530s. We're going 530s, guys.
Oh, hey, I didn't hear you say.
So we're going to keep the turbo here, I think, or we're really, really close to where we're going to be. We're going to use our same cups and start getting this thing mounted. We got header flanges on the way. We got everything else on the way, so we should be able to get it mounted. And the tubes are so small, right? Like, it's going to be nice doing a header out of some small, like 2 or 2 1/8 tubing is going to be really nice, because usually we use on Eagle is 2 1/2.
If it's tight, it's tighter to do it with the big, but as
Yeah.
far as the actual work of cutting and fitting, doesn't matter.
But the smaller gives you a lot more room. So we'll have a lot of room there. And I think that's it. I think these turbos right here are going to get us into the fives, Taylor. What do you think? He's still not. He's I don't know about Taylor lately. He's negative about these fives. He doesn't think Mole's going fives. He doesn't think Tall Order's going fives. He's just negative sometimes.
Nobody was going fives.
He does like that.
It took a lot of effort.
Well, it's going to take a lot of effort. I agree. Fives is not easy. You saw Eagle go fives pretty quickly, but Eagle also makes about 2,000 horsepower more than this. So it is going to be a little bit tougher with this. Car will be a little bit lighter. I think we can do it. I think we can do it.
Is that exhaust turned about where you're going to want it?
This exhaust?
Yeah. No. Rotation.
Similar, yeah, because we're going to have to clear the master cylinder goes right here.
Sure wish there was a lug right there. There's one over here
There's one on the other side.
that could go to here.
Yeah, yeah.
This one may not need to be used. It just depends. Oh, well, we had to do a little thought on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Like you said, you definitely want to plan out the rotation of everything and kind of what you're going to do before you just start mounting stuff and then build yourself into a corner to where stuff just won't work. It would not be ideal to mount this turbo and do half the header and figure out your charge pipes running through the middle of something you can't move. So definitely some thought goes into this. Danny's going to work on getting this thing mounted, and then we'll be starting on the headers. What do you think, Taylor? Fives. Let's go on fives.
Yeah, all right.
All right, that's it. We're waiting on some header material, and we will get these turbos mounted. Make sure you check out Fishing Clash, the sponsor of today's video, and use our special code CJRaceCars to get your free prize. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.